The rescue. Blood that shouldn't have worked. The sky was dark. Stars were hidden behind black smoke. A battle had just ended above a dead planet. Burnt metal floated in space. Ships were broken. Bodies drifted in silence. Commander Kalira, a high-ranking alien soldier, was lying on a broken metal platform. Her silver armor was cracked. Her green blood was running from her side. She was breathing slowly, very slowly. Her planet, Arcturus, had sent her to lead the attack against the humans. But the fight had gone wrong. Now she was alone, weak, dying. Kalira opened her eyes for a moment. Her vision was blurry. She heard soft footsteps. She raised a shaky hand toward her weapon but dropped it. No energy left out. A figure came closer. A human, male, dressed in a simple medic suit. Helmet scratched, one eye swollen. But he was alive. His name was Lieutenant Ethan Reed. He looked at Kalira. She was supposed to be the enemy. The war orders were clear. Do not help the aliens. But Ethan looked around. No one was watching. Only death and silence around. He kneeled beside her. "You're hurt bad," he whispered. "But maybe I can stop the bleeding." Kalira tried to speak, but blood came out of her mouth. She didn't understand his words, but she could feel his hands were not attacking. He was helping. Ethan opened his bag. He used a healing patch. It melted. Didn't work. He tried a stim injection. It only made her scream. Her body was rejecting everything. "She's dying," he whispered to himself. "Nothing's working." He looked at the tools. All useless. Then he looked at the blood transfusion kit. A wild idea entered his mind. "This is crazy," he said. "Alien biology is not like ours." He stared at her face. "Still breathing, still trying to live. I'm sorry," he whispered. "But I have to try." Ethan inserted a tube into his own arm. Then he connected it to her. Kalira's eyes opened wide. Her body shook. She screamed in a strange alien voice. Her back arched. Her heart rate spiked. "Come on. Stay with me," Ethan said. Suddenly, her body glowed. A strange green and red light spread under her skin. Her wounds, they started closing. Slowly but clearly. Ethan stared in shock. This shouldn't be possible. Kalira's breathing became stronger. Her skin returned to its natural silver blue tone. She grabbed Ethan's arm with surprising strength. Her eyes bright, golden, now wide open, looked straight into his. "What did you do to me?" she asked in a deep, slow voice. Ethan stepped back. I gave you my blood." She sat up, shaky but alive. She looked down at her side. "No wound, no pain. Your blood?" she said, confused. "Why?" Ethan was silent, then replied, "Because you were dying." She looked around. The battlefield. The silence. "The end. I was your enemy," she said. "You were also bleeding." Ethan replied. Kalira stood. Her body felt strange, strong, too strong. Her vision was sharper. Her heart beat like a drum. Fast, hot, powerful. Suddenly her hands started to glow slightly. She looked at them in shock. "This is wrong," she said. "Something is wrong." Ethan watched her. "You're alive." "That's something." She turned to him slowly. "You don't understand. Your blood. It changed something in me." Ethan frowned. "Changed?" Kalira closed her eyes for a second. She felt a strange pull inside her body. Not pain, but not comfort either. Something new. Something unknown. "I have to go," she said quickly. "No one can know this happened." She picked up her weapon. Looked at Ethan one last time. "You may have saved me, but this is not over." She jumped into a broken escape pod. The door closed. With a burst of energy, it vanished into the dark space. Ethan sat back, exhausted, confused. alone again. He looked at the bloody tube still in his hand. What the hell just happened? He whispered. Kalira sat alone inside the escape pod, watching stars pass by the small window. Her hands were shaking, not from fear but from something she didn't understand. Her body felt hot, pulsing with strange energy. Her skin tingled, her vision flickered. Every sound, every light, it all felt louder, sharper, deeper, like the world had changed, or maybe she had. She looked at her reflection in the glass. Same silver blue skin, same golden eyes. But something was different. Her eyes glowed faintly, even in the dark. Her breathing was faster, her heart louder, like a drum in her chest that wouldn't calm down. What did that human do to me? She whispered to herself. She closed her eyes and focused. She had been trained to control her body, to stay calm under stress. But this was different. Her body didn't feel like hers anymore. It was stronger, faster, but also unstable. Her mind returned to the moment Ethan had given her his blood. She remembered the pain, the heat, the way her body had reacted. Alien blood and human blood weren't supposed to mix. It should have killed her. But instead, it had healed her. Now it was doing something more. Hours later, Kalira reached her ship hidden on the far edge of her planet's system. Only trusted AI systems and a single crew drone were there. She landed quietly and walked inside. As soon as she stepped through the medical scanner, red lights flashed. Warning: unidentified cell activity detected. Kalira froze. Her hand instinctively went to her weapon, even though there was no threat. Just machines. She stepped forward and opened the private console. Show me the scan, she ordered. The screen lit up with her body data. Most of it looked normal. But near her lower torso, something was wrong. A small cluster of cells was growing, fast, dividing, evolving. No, she whispered. The machine gave a quiet beep. Then words appeared. Early stage development, fetal form detected. Kalira stared at the words, unable to move. Her mouth went dry. Her mind refused to accept what she saw. A fetus? She said aloud, that's impossible. She had never mated, never carried. Her kind didn't reproduce this way, not without genetic pairing. And certainly not by accident. Then she remembered Ethan, his blood, his DNA. Her eyes widened in horror. No, she said again, stepping back. It can't be. But the screen didn't lie. Somehow, something inside her had used the human's blood to start a new life. A hybrid. Half her and half him. She turned away, chest rising and falling quickly. Her hands curled into fists. This is unnatural, she said. This is a violation. And yet, something inside her refused to call it wrong. Her warrior training screamed to remove the threat, to end it before anyone found out. But a small voice deep inside whispered something else. It's alive. And it's part of you. She shut off the screen. No one can know. On the human base, far across the stars, Ethan Reed sat quietly in the medbay. He was suspended from duty. His commander had found out he treated an enemy alien. That was against protocol. What were you thinking, Lieutenant? His commander had shouted. You could have started an interspecies disaster. But Ethan didn't care. He kept thinking about her. About Kale Ira. Her face, her eyes when she woke up. The way she looked at him, not as an enemy, but as something more. She was scared, he muttered, and she didn't know why. He remembered the way her body reacted to his blood. No alien had ever survived human blood before. What made her different? He wanted answers, not for science, for something deeper. A feeling in his chest he couldn't explain. Guilt? Curiosity? Or something stranger? That night, he accessed a private terminal and began running simulations. He copied his blood data and ran it through alien biological models. Most results failed, but one. DIDN single quotes T dot, it showed something strange. Cell fusion? He whispered dot according to the model, if an alien's healing system was damaged and combined with certain human blood proteins, it could trigger regeneration. And maybe even cellular blending. Ethan leaned back. Did I change her? He didn't know it yet, but the answer was yes. Back on her ship, Kalira couldn't sleep. She felt heat building in her chest, like fire under her skin. She stood and walked to the mirror again. Her reflection stared back. Her face was the same, but something behind her eyes was new. A glow, a spark. She touched her stomach gently. Who are you? She whispered. Then a jolt passed through her body. Not pain but pressure. Like something inside her was moving. She fell to her knees, breathing hard. Then, suddenly, everything went still. The pressure stopped. And then she heard something. A small, soft heartbeat. Coming from inside her, Kalira looked up slowly. Her warrior heart, trained never to fear, beat faster than it ever had before. This is not just science, she said. This is something else. And she knew then this was only the beginning. Kalira stood in the center of her private chamber, the cold metal floor beneath her feet, but a strange warmth growing inside her. It had been 3 days since she discovered the truth. 3 days since the scanner revealed something growing. In her body, a child, not just any child, but a hybrid. Something no one had ever seen before. She had locked her ship deep in an asteroid belt, far from her people, far from their questions. She needed time to think, time to understand. But the questions wouldn't stop. How could this happen? How could human blood, his blood, do something so impossible? Her people had studied human DNA. It was unstable, weak, too simple to connect with Arcarian cells. That's what the scientists always said, but the child growing inside her was real. Kalira activated the scanner again. The glowing screen showed the same result. Fetal development accelerated. Cell stability unknown. Genetic structure 47% human, 53% Archarin. And one more thing. Neural activity active. She leaned forward. It's thinking already. It didn't make sense. Arcarian children took months to form basic thoughts. This was something new. Kalira felt a chill even in the sealed ship. She was a warrior, trained to fight, to lead, not to carry. Life inside her, not to protect something so small, so fragile, so unknown. But every time she thought about ending it, removing the child, something inside her stopped her. A whisper in her mind, a feeling in her chest. It's yours. And his. His face came back to her memory. Ethan, the human medic who broke every rule to save her. He could have walked away, let her die. But he didn't. He gave her his blood, his life, and now it had created another. She closed her eyes. She needed answers. And she knew only one person could help her now. On the human station, Ethan couldn't sleep, not because of noise, but because of silence. Deep silence. The kind that wraps around you when something big is coming, but you don't know what. He had been running tests, looking at cell patterns, DNA maps. He hadn't told anyone. But he had kept a small sample of Kalira's blood from the battlefield. Just a drop. It had mixed with his during the transfusion. And now it was changing. Under the microscope, the cells were alive, too alive. They were duplicating fast. And not in human patterns. These cells had energy. They pulsed with light. Like they were reaching for something. Reaching for me? He wondered out loud. Suddenly, his screen flickered. An encrypted message flashed. Coordinates received, Private channel. He frowned. Who the hell? Then the message opened. Simple sentence. We need to talk. Come alone. No name. Just the location. But he knew who it was. Kale IRA. They met on a quiet moon. No life, no cameras, no questions. Ethan stood beside his small shuttle, watching her ship land. It was still strange to see her, an alien commander with such human-like grace. Her armor gleamed, but her face was pale. Tired, she stepped out. Said nothing. He spoke first. You're alive. I wasn't sure I'd ever see you again. She nodded. Her golden eyes locked on his. I need answers, she said. I might have some, he replied. But you came a long way to ask. Kalera hesitated, then spoke softly. There's something inside me. Ethan's face changed. What do you mean? She touched her stomach. Your blood healed me. But it did more than that. It created something, a new life. He stared at her. You're pregnant? She nodded. With? Yes, she said. With your child. Silence. Ethan took a step back, stunned. That's impossible. I thought so too. But the scans are clear. He didn't know what to say. Part of him wanted to laugh, to cry, to scream. None of it made sense. And yet, in her eyes, he saw the truth. You should have told someone, he said. Your people. No, she cut him off. If they find out, they will take it from me, study it, destroy it. Ethan's voice dropped. Then what do we do? Kalera looked at him. For the first time, her eyes softened. I need your help. Ethan stepped closer. You saved my life too, remember? Back there when you didn't shoot me. Maybe we both broke rules. Kalera looked down, then said quietly, I feel it, inside me. It's different. It's not just growing. It's learning. Ethan looked up at the stars. Then maybe it's not just a child. Maybe it's something new. They stood in silence for a moment, two soldiers from two worlds, now linked by something neither of them understood. Then Kalera said, We have to hide, for now. Ethan nodded. Where? She looked at the stars. Somewhere no one will find us. As she turned back to her ship, Ethan followed. The fear was real. The danger was real. But something stronger was pulling them forward. Hope. And deep inside her body, the child's heart beat faster, aware of the two voices around it. Watching. Listening. Changing. The stars drifted quietly outside the ship's window. But inside, everything felt tense. Kalera stood at the control panel, staring at the silent radar screen. Every second, she expected it to flash red. Every minute, she feared a signal, one that meant her people had found her. She turned to Ethan, who was checking the engines. In the back, are we ready to jump again? She asked. Ethan looked up and wiped sweat from his forehead. Almost. Just need to cool the core first, or we'll burn out mid-jump. We don't have time, she said. He sighed. I know. But if we jump now, the ship could rip apart. Kalera walked to a nearby seat and sat down slowly, one hand resting on her stomach. The strange warmth inside her was still there, stronger each day. Their child was growing fast. Too fast. Every scan showed development far beyond what should be possible. It was no ordinary baby, and others knew it now. 2 days ago, a strange signal had reached her ship. It was encrypted, but she cracked it. It came from the Arcarian High Command. A message sent to secret labs. Subject: human-alien hybrid. Immediate capture order. Terminate mother if needed. They were coming for her. For the child. And they weren't the only ones. She hadn't told Ethan, but another signal had appeared on the edge of her scanners. A human warship. Not close, but not far either. Probably tracking Ethan's ship. ID.2 enemies. One unborn child. Nowhere left to run. She looked at Ethan. He was busy working, unaware of how bad it really was. He had followed her without question, left his people behind. And now he was risking everything. "Why are you helping me?" she asked suddenly. He looked up, surprised. "You really have to ask?" Kalira kept her eyes on him. "Yes." Ethan walked over, sat across from her, and spoke quietly. "Because when I looked into your eyes that day, I didn't see an enemy. I saw someone trying to survive, just like me." She didn't answer. Her golden eyes dropped to the floor. In her world, emotions were signs of weakness. But something inside her, maybe because of the child, was changing. "You didn't run away from me," she whispered. "Even when you should have. You didn't kill me," he replied. "Even when you had the chance." They shared a small, quiet look. Not love, not yet, but something close. Something growing. Then the radar beeped. Kalira snapped her head toward the screen. A red dot, then another. Then 5. "No," she said, standing quickly. "They found us." Ethan ran to the controls. "Who?" She didn't answer at first. Her fingers danced across the screen, scanning signal types. Arcarian ships. Elite hunters. They've activated stealth tech. "We have 3 minutes," Ethan swore under his breath. "I told you the engine wasn't ready. We don't have a choice." They jumped into action. Ethan rushed to the core, cooling it manually with emergency gel. Kalira charged the warp drive, ignoring safety limits. The ship groaned, lights flickered, but the systems held. 30 seconds, she called out. "Do it now." Ethan shouted from the back. Kalira slammed the jump button. The ship lurched violently. Space bent. Stars stretched into lines of light. Then dash silence. They had escaped, but just barely. The ship drifted quietly now in a dead zone, a forgotten corner of the galaxy, where signals couldn't reach. No stars, no planets. Just floating ice and silence. Kalira leaned against the wall, breathing hard. The jump had taken all power. They were dead in space now, hiding in cold darkness. Ethan walked in, limping slightly. His hand burned from the coolant. "You okay?" he asked. "I'm fine," she replied, then paused. "You?" "Lost a few hairs," he joked. "Could have been worse." They sat in silence again, both exhausted, both shaken. Kalira finally spoke. "They want the child. Not just to study. They're afraid of it." Ethan nodded. "My people too. If they find out, they'll see it as a threat, a weapon." "It's not a weapon," she said firmly. Ethan looked at her. "Then what is it?" She placed her hand over her stomach. "I don't know yet, but I feel something. It listens. It reacts, like it understands what's happening." Ethan leaned back, staring at the ceiling. "It's not just a baby, is it?" "It's something new." Kalira nodded slowly. "Yes. And they fear what they don't understand." Ethan looked at her. "Then we have to stay ahead of them. Keep moving. Keep hiding." She looked him in the eyes. "No, we can't run forever." "What do you mean?" Kalira stood, stronger than before. Her voice was calm, but powerful. "If they want the child," she said, "then we make a choice. We stop running and start fighting." Ethan didn't answer. He knew she was right. The chase was over. Now came the war, and deep inside her womb, the hybrid child stirred, feeling the tension, the danger, and the quiet strength of the two voices protecting it. The silence of deep space wrapped around the ship like a blanket, but inside, a storm was building. Kalira gripped the edge of the control panel, her body trembling. A sharp pain shot through her lower back, making her knees buckle. She dropped to the floor, gasping. It was time. Ethan rushed into the room, eyes wide. "What's wrong?" Kalira's skin glowed faintly, her silver blue tone pulsing with golden light. She looked up at him with clenched teeth. "It's starting." The child? It's coming. Ethan stared at her, frozen for a second. Now? Here? We're not ready. She gave him a hard look, sweat beading down her face. Do you think I planned this? He moved fast, cleared the medical bay, grabbed supplies. Sterile pads, heat stabilizers, scanner tools, whatever he could find. Kalira lay on the padded table, her body shaking as another wave of pain hit her. But this wasn't like any birth her species had recorded. Her body was reacting in strange ways. Her skin temperature kept rising. Her heartbeat tripled. The ship's systems were detecting wild energy fluctuations centered in her womb. Ethan placed a scanner above her abdomen. His hands were steady, but his heart was racing. The screen showed something impossible. The baby was not just alive, it was glowing from the inside. Neural activity was spiking. The baby's brain was already developing beyond newborn levels. Tiny fingers moved. A soft heartbeat echoed clearly. Kalira gritted her teeth. It's not just being born, she said through pain. It's changing. Ethan's eyes narrowed. Changing how? The DNA, it's shifting, like it's adapting, learning what it wants to be. The lights above flickered. A low hum filled the room. The air grew heavier. The energy inside the ship was being drawn toward her. Ethan stepped back. Is this from the child? Kalira nodded. Yes, it's feeding on energy, not just mine. Everything. Then came a scream, not from her lips, but from deep within her. Ah! Burst of pressure exploded from her chest like a pulse. The lights blew out. The control panel sparked. For a second, everything went black. And then silence. The lights slowly returned. Emergency power switched on. Red light filled the room. Kalira was lying still, her face pale, her chest rising slowly. In her arms was the child. Ethan stepped forward carefully. The baby didn't cry. It didn't make a sound. It simply looked up at the two faces above it, wide-eyed. Its skin was smooth and pale, almost silver. Tiny veins glowed faintly with gold light. The eyes, they weren't human, and they weren't Arcarian. They were both shifting between blue and gold, like the sky and fire had been mixed. It's beautiful, Ethan whispered. Kalira didn't speak. She stared at the child in silence. Then, slowly, her hand moved to touch its face. The baby reached up and wrapped a tiny hand around her finger, and something passed between them. Not words, not feelings, but understanding. He knows me, she said softly. Ethan knelt beside her. It's a boy? Kalira shook her head. No, not boy, not girl, just something new. The scanner beeped again. Ethan looked up. Warning. Energy spike detected. Core drain increasing. The baby's presence was drawing energy from the ship's systems. Kalira sat up, holding the child tightly. We need to contain the energy, or he'll burn the ship out. Ethan nodded. There's an energy shield chamber in the cargo bay. I'll convert it into a containment pod. Kalira hesitated. We can't trap him. We won't, Ethan said. Just guide it. As he ran to set things up, Kalira looked at the child again. What are you? The baby stared back, then blinked once, slowly, and for a second, Kalira heard something. A voice. Not in sound, but inside her mind. I know you. I chose you. She froze. Did you speak to me? No answer, but the baby smiled. A real smile. Moments later, Ethan returned. The pod is ready. It will keep his energy stable. Kalira stood, weak but steady. Together, they placed the child in the pod. As soon as the glass closed, the lights stopped flickering. The ship grew calm. The child floated inside, asleep, glowing softly. Kalira leaned on Ethan. This is just a beginning, he nodded. We need answers. We need a place to study this without being hunted. Kalira looked at the stars outside. There's a world I know. Forbiddance, uninhabited, but old Arcarian science temples are still there. Ethan looked at her. Safe? No, she said. But hidden. They set the course. As the ship moved through space, quiet returned. But inside the pod, the child's eyes opened again. He looked at the glass, placed his hand on it, and for a moment, the ship's systems flickered once more. Kalira saw it. He's not just different, she said. He's powerful. Ethan looked at the child with awe and fear. Then he said quietly, and we have no idea what he's going to become. The forgotten planet was covered in gray dust and long-dead ruins. Kalira's ship landed with a quiet hiss, hidden beneath the shadows of jagged cliffs. The air was thin, but breathable. The perfect hiding place. No cities, no life. Only silence and the remains of ancient Arcarian science temples buried beneath the surface. Kalira stepped out first, the baby wrapped in silver cloth against her chest. He was quiet now, no glowing eyes, no strange energy pulses, just sleeping. But she knew that calm wouldn't last. His power was growing. Every day she could feel it inside her, like a second heartbeat. Ethan followed close behind, his eyes scanning the landscape. Are you sure this place is safe? She shook her head. Nowhere is safe, but this is where I was born. Before the war, before everything changed. They moved quickly, finding a hidden passage beneath a half-buried tower. Inside, the walls were covered in glowing symbols. Old Arcarian tech. Half lost, half alive. They moved deeper, until they found what Kalira was looking for, a power room shielded in stone and forgotten memory. This will hold him, she said. The energy here is old, but strong. It can balance his mind for now. Ethan helped set the baby inside the energy cradle. The moment the child touched the crystal surface, a wave of golden light flashed through the room. The walls trembled, but held. The ancient systems came to life. A soft hum filled the air. Kalira watched, eyes wide. He's not just feeding on energy, she whispered. He's speaking to it. Ethan stared. Speaking to machines? No, she said. To something older. Something deeper. They didn't know it, but that burst of light had done more than power up the room. It had sent a signal. A wave through the ancient Arcarian network. One that had been dormant for centuries, and it had been seen far above the planet, a hidden satellite woke up. Its sensors blinked once, then transmitted a signal back to orbit. Within minutes, two ships changed direction. One was Arcarian, the other was human. Both were coming. The warning came too late. Kalira was in the energy chamber. When the alarm sounded, Ethan ran in, his face pale. We've got company. Two ships. Heavy weapons. No time to run. Kalira didn't hesitate. She lifted the child from the cradle and wrapped him tight. Get to the tunnel. Take him. What about you? Ethan asked. I'll hold them off. Buy time. No, he said, grabbing her arm. We fight together. She looked at him, and for a moment, the wall between them cracked. She didn't argue. They armed themselves fast. Kalira with her twin energy blades, Ethan with a shock rifle pulled from the emergency rack. Then they took positions near the entrance, shadows flickering under ancient stone. The first blast hit the cliff above them, sending rocks crashing. Dust filled the air. Kalira didn't flinch. They want the child, she said coldly. They'll destroy everything to get him. Moments later, armored figures entered the ruins, Arcarian soldiers. Then, on the far side, human marines in dark armor. Both sides ready to kill each other, but now united by one goal, take the hybrid alive. Kalira and Ethan didn't wait. They attacked. Blades flashed, energy bolts slammed into walls. Dust and smoke rose fast. Ethan moved like a ghost, dodging blasts, firing carefully. Kalira danced between soldiers, her blades cutting arcs of light through the air. They fought back to back, not as human and alien, but as protectors. Above them, the baby's cry echoed through the temple, high and sharp. And then the energy changed. The walls began to glow. The air grew heavy. Everyone froze. Then the child floated down the corridor, eyes wide open, glowing bright gold. His small hands were raised, palms open. Kalira screamed, "No, stay back." But the child didn't stop. He hovered above the ground, tiny, calm, powerful. And then he spoke. Not in words. In every mind at once. Enough. The soldiers, human and Arcarian, fell to their knees. Their weapons dropped. Their faces twisted in confusion, fear, wonder. Kalira felt it too, a pressure in her mind, but soft, like a hand resting gently inside her thoughts. Ethan gasped, "He's inside my head." Kalira whispered, "He's inside all of us." The child looked at them all. "I am not a weapon. I am not a threat, but I will defend myself." The ground shook. A wave of golden energy pulsed outward. In an instant, every ship, every weapon, every system powered down. Dead silence. Then the child floated gently back into Kalira's arms, eyes closing once more. Everyone stood still, too stunned to speak. Kalira looked at them, her voice hard again. "You came for war, but he gave you mercy." Ethan stepped forward. "Leave, or next time you might not be so lucky." The soldiers backed away. No orders. No fight left. They had seen something greater than war. They had seen evolution. Later, as the sun set across the dead world, Kalira sat beside Ethan on the stone steps outside the temple. The child slept peacefully, a faint glow under his skin. Kalira looked at the stars. "They'll come again," she said. "But next time, they won't just want him, they'll fear him." Ethan nodded. "Let them. We'll be ready." Kalira looked at him. "He protected us. He chose us," Ethan replied, and somewhere inside the sleeping child something stirred again, quiet, ancient, powerful. Not just a baby. Not just a hybrid, but something the universe had never seen before. The winds were soft on the surface of the ruined planet now. What was once silent and lifeless had changed. The ancient Arcarian temple, long abandoned, now pulsed faintly with light. Energy returned to old stone walls. And deep within the hidden chamber, something new was growing. The child, neither human nor Arcarian, sat quietly, legs crossed on the smooth crystal floor. He was still just a few weeks old by time, but his body had grown quickly. His mind, even faster. Kalira watched him from a distance, standing by the old console. Her golden eyes were sharp, alert as always, but something inside her had softened. She no longer carried herself like a soldier. She was something else now, a protector, a mother, maybe more. Ethan stood beside her, holding a device connected to several monitors. The data flowing across the screen made little sense to anyone else. Brain patterns, energy waves, light spectrum readings. The child gave off signals no machine had ever recorded. "He's still changing," Ethan said. "His DNA is shifting. Every day. Adapting." Kalira nodded. "He's becoming more than both of us." Ethan looked at her. "Does that scare you?" She didn't answer at first. Her eyes remained fixed on the child. "No," she said at last. "Not anymore?" Since the battle, no one had returned to attack. The soldiers from both sides had left that day in silence, shaken by what they had seen. Neither the humans nor the Arcarians had made contact again. No orders, no warnings, nothing. But they were watching. Kalira and Ethan knew that. Even from across galaxies, someone was watching and waiting to see what this child would become. The child opened His eyes. He looked up at them, then slowly stood. He walked to them, not unsteady like a baby, but calm and graceful. His eyes were golden now, with hints of deep blue beneath. When he spoke, it wasn't with words. His voice was still inside their minds, soft and warm. "I'm ready." Ethan frowned. "Ready for what?" The child looked up at them both, to show them I am not a danger. Kalira kneeled in front of him. "They won't understand you. They're afraid. Then I will give them something stronger than fear." She tilted her head. "What?" "Hope." Kalira's breath caught. There was no anger in his voice. No hate. He wasn't just a child learning to survive. He was something more, something that saw the future differently than either of his parents. He reached for Ethan's hand, and the moment Ethan touched him, the world around them changed. Suddenly, they weren't in the temple anymore. They were standing in a wide, open field under twin moons. Grass moved in waves. The air was clean, bright, perfect. In the distance, Kalira saw buildings strange but beautiful, made of stone and light. Arcarian symbols danced next to human designs. Children ran. Some with golden eyes, some with blue, some with both. They laughed, played. No one fought. Kalira stepped forward. "What is this?" The child's voice echoed. In the wind, a vision, a future that could exist. If they let it. Ethan stared around him in awe. "You created this?" "No, you did. Together, I just saw it." And just like that, they were back in the temple. Only a second had passed. The child looked tired now, but peaceful. Kalira reached out and lifted him into her arms. "You want to lead them?" "No. Just remind them that we are more together than apart." Ethan placed a hand on Kalira's shoulder. "They'll still come. Some will still want to take him." Kalira nodded. "Then let them come and see what we've seen." In the following weeks, they sent a message. It was not a threat. Not a warning. It was an invitation. A broadcast of the child's vision shared through encoded pulses that no ordinary system could block. A vision of peace, of unity, of something new. They waited. First, silence. Then answers. Not many. Just a few at first. From hidden scientists. From curious soldiers. From thinkers and believers. Both human and Arcarian. People who wanted to understand. People who wanted to believe. And slowly, quietly, something began. 1 year later, the temple was no longer hidden. It had become a place of learning, of questions and discovery. Kalira trained those who wanted to protect without fear. Ethan taught those who wanted to explore without hate. And the child who still had no name, by his own choice simply listened, grew, guided when needed. He stood at the center of it all. Not as a god, not as a ruler, but as a bridge. One night Kalira found him outside staring at the stars. "Do you ever wonder," she asked, "what you really are?" The child smiled softly. "No, because what I am is still becoming." He turned to her. "And what I will be depends on all of you."